Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining us on Talk and Fight for another episode of Neil the Deal with Neil the Deal himself. And we've got a bright, young, up and coming Mexican fighter joining us tonight. Well, not joining us, but being profiled by you tonight.
Hey, Graham, how are you? Nice to see
I'm
you,
good,
man.
thank you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about one of these he's an up and comer, but he's been around quite a long time, actually. He's been around about 9 years, I think. And he is a world
Youngster.
champion. Yeah, but yeah, he's an amazing fighter, and I've been taking a look at him over the last couple of years, and I thought we'd talk about him tonight. So thanks a lot for coming out, guys. Really appreciate it. The likes, the shares, all the stuff has been absolutely great. The views going up, love it, and thanks a lot for everything. So we're going to talk about a Mexican fighter tonight called Emanuel Navarrete. Emanuel Navarrete. Now he has a nickname. They call him El Vaquero. El Vaquero, which is Mexican, obviously, and the English translation would be cowboy.
No
Cowboy.
way.
El Vaquero.
Yep.
So they call him the cowboy, I guess, in English. And he's a tremendous fighter, absolutely tremendous. So let's go over some of his stuff. He was born January 17th, 1995, which makes him 26 years old. He was born in San Juan, Zitalipec, Mexico.
Right
That's a mouthful right there. San Juan, Zitalipec, Mexico. So he's been fighting in three divisions in his career. His career started in 2012, and he is actively a present fighter. So he's been fighting as a flyweight, junior featherweight, and featherweight division. So he's not a big guy. I believe featherweight's 126 pounds or something like that. So junior featherweight, I think, is 122, something like that. So, but man, he can really throw the leather. So he's ranked right now the second best active featherweight by BoxRec and Ring Magazine in the world, and he's the third ranked junior featherweight by a transnational boxing ranking board. So he's right up there at the top, and he's a two-time division world champion already. So he's had a really, really good career so far. Guys, if you want to check him out, his fights are spectacular. He's a knockout artist, and he really lays the leather to guys. He currently is holding the WBO featherweight title, making him a world champion as we speak. And I recently saw him fight. I believe he fought Graham. It was probably about a couple of weeks ago, I believe. But we'll talk about that later on. He fought a few weeks ago. I think it was like April 24th, something like that. The end of April. So if you've ever seen any of his fights, guys, like I've seen a bunch, he has for a guy who's only 5'7" or something, he has really long arms. So all his opponents seem to have a hard time with him because he's got really long arms for a guy of that size. You know what I mean? And he's able to keep his opponents away from him. But he also he's got devastating punching power. You know, since he's got that reach advantage, he's got power in both hands. It's amazing. Some of his knockouts are just amazing. He puts a lot of pressure. He's a pressure fighter. He likes to put a lot of pressure on his opponents, and he's got a really good jab with those long arms. Works the body really well in combination with his signature punch is the uppercut. He has knocked out numbers and numbers of guys. I saw him knock out one guy with a combination uppercut, like a right left uppercut. You know what I mean? Like boom boom, just it was spectacular stuff. So he's definitely got for a guy that size, man. He throws hard punches big time. So his amateur career was pretty stellar. He had 115 bouts, guys. He won 108 of those, and he only lost 7 bouts as an amateur. So that's pretty amazing, as we all know. Anything over 100 wins is awesome. And I like all the Mexican fighters, right, Graham? I was just going to mention that he has a lot of heart in the ring too, eh? And a lot of grit. You know, it's like it's born into them or something. They have a lot of heart, the Mexican fighters, and they're tenacious. They don't give up. They go. They're like just relentless. And he's one of those kind of Mexican fighters. He's just like that. He goes crazy. So his pro totals, he's had 35 bouts. of which he has 33 wins, one loss, and one no contest. But he has 28 knockouts of the 33 wins. So, like I was saying, he's got fantastic power. And that gives him a knockout percentage of 82%. 82% knockout percentage. That's really high. So usually when he gets his opponents in trouble, as you'll see in any of his fights, they don't last very long and they end up on the canvas. Like, he's definitely got that down to a fine art form. And most of his knockouts, the ones that I've seen, are a combination of amazing speed and punching. You know what I mean, Graham? He throws combinations from all different angles, and he really cuts off the ring well. Once he gets a guy injured, he puts him up against the ropes, and he works the body really hard, and then he throws those uppercuts and overhand straight rights are just crazy. He's got a really strong straight right as well, and right hook, left hook. Holy cow! So he's a flashy fighter. I really like watching his fights. Uh, so let's go over a little bit more of his pro stuff. He turned pro, like I was saying, in 2012. He was only 17 years old when he turned pro, and his first 25 bouts were held in Mexico. So all the as we keep talking, the Mexican fighters start off and they just fight a lot of fights up in Mexico until he's more recently been fighting in the United States because he's a world champion. But moving up the ladder, most of his fights were in Mexico. He had a 5-1 with a 20 fight unbeaten streak when in 2018 he won the junior featherweight title. That was his first title with a unanimous decision over Isaac Dogbo. You ever heard of him, Graham? Isaac Dogbo?
Don't think so. No.
No, he's a really good little fighter too, Dogbo. He's been around quite a lot, and he's been an ex-world champion and stuff. So he's no slouch by any means. So in December 2018, he won that title. And then it's interesting. He's a very active fighter too, Navarrete. He's very, very active, and he likes to stay busy, which is kind of cool. Between May 2019 and June of 2020, he had 6 fights, Graham. He defended that belt 6 times in what? 13 months. Not very many fighters do that anymore. You know what I mean? He's one of the more busier guys out there, and he likes to stay busy. With the pandemic, that slowed him right down. But he was saying, I heard that if things had gone, he would fight 10 times a year if they'd let him, right? He'd fight once a month or something. He really likes it. But yeah, overall, he's really he fights a lot in the last those couple of years there, a year and a half, just over a year. So he decided to move up in October 2020. He went up to featherweight, and he won the WBO featherweight title right away with a unanimous decision over Ruben Villa. So he went from junior featherweight champion to featherweight champion, right? And amazing, bang bang, right then. He's now the WBO featherweight champion. In his most recent bout, which was, I was right, it was April 24th, 2021. I believe that was on the undercard of was just recent, April 24th. It'll come to me later. But I watched it, and it was a great fight. He won over a guy named Christopher Diaz by TKO in the 12th round and retained his title, the WBO featherweight title. So it was a really good fight. I mean, he knocked Diaz down a couple of times, but Diaz, man, that guy, he has a heart of stone. He stuck in there. You know what I mean? Right to the end. Right to the end. I think he lost. I think they called the fight with something like, I was watching, it was like 10 or 11 seconds left in the fight. It was unbelievable, but it was a really, really good fight. So if you guys want to watch a really good fight, would be Christopher Diaz versus Navarrete, right? Emanuel Navarrete. That was a really good fight, his most recent one. Now, his future fights, they've been talking about like going down in weight maybe a little bit and fighting that Naoya Inoue.
Wow.
Yeah, going down in weight instead of going up in weight. But I don't think that's going to happen. He in his division right now, he could fight one of the other champions. Maybe Leo Santa Cruz is one guy he's been looking at maybe fighting later this year. Or Gary Russell Jr. is another guy that he's been looking at fighting later this year. And then there's been some rumbling that if that doesn't work out, that he wants to move up one more division, go up to the 130 division, and then he wants a big fight up against a guy like Shakur Stevenson, right, at 130, or Oscar Valdez, one of those guys. You know what I mean? So they're just trying to figure out an opponent for him, and is he going to go down in weight? Is he going to stay where he is, or is he going to go up in weight? We don't really know. That's the word on the street, anyways. But anyway, you slice it. This guy's a very exciting fighter, Graham. He's had a really good career. He's a world champion, like we've been talking about, and I'm really looking forward to anybody he fights going forward later this year or early next year.
For sure. Is he signed? Is he signed to like Golden Boy or Matchroom or Top Rank? Is he one of those fellas?
I don't have any information about that. I believe he probably would be. I would think so. But I don't know if it's which one it would be, or I didn't hear anything about it. But he's definitely, if he's not, somebody's probably gonna pick very soon. You know what I mean?
Someone's missing out on a paycheck.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely going to be fighting world champions going forward. There's no point in him going. He's pretty much beat everybody that he's had to up to this point. So, he's either going to go down and fight Inui, or I believe they were talking about that within the last year. You know what I mean? Maybe it's only something like 4 pounds or something. You know what I mean? Difference, or 6 pounds or something like that. So, well, I guess we'll just have to see what happens, right? Or move up, put on a little weight and move up, right? So I think it's basically where the biggest paycheck's going to be for him. He's going to go either down or up, or stay where he is and have to fight maybe for a unification title fight or something of that sort.
Yep.
So thanks a lot for coming out tonight, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you have yourselves a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for the likes again, the shares, all the subscriptions and the views have been fantastic. Thanks a lot. So take care of yourselves and have yourselves a nice evening.
Thanks you.